Hello, I'm going to be doing a reading, and particularly on one of the Capitol policemen that took his life. And Clyde Kerr, in particularly, is the case I'm going to be looking at, but I will also look at the other gentleman, the other Capitol police officer that ended up taking his life as well. There's two of them. It's very sad. Anyhow, so I'm going to cleanse this here. And I'm going to talk to Clyde, and I'm going to see if I can get his spirit to communicate. I just feel like he's the one I should talk to. Clyde was a man of color, very, it seems like he would have been a great officer, and this is such a terrible loss. And he had sons, he had children, so I just feel like we need to look at his message and amplify it. Ooh, that one's going good now. I'll probably never get this one to go out. Alright, let's really... Ooh, it's really going. Let's cleanse the deck, which is the LightSeer's Tarot. I sorted it out. That's the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to clear my space. I'm going to... Some for you there. Okay. And I thank the spirit of Palo Santo for cleansing and clearing and make this space good so I can speak with the spirit of Clyde Kerr and convey any message he wants to further convey. Alright? So we cleanse this space. I offer to the directions. My own little way of doing that. Spiritual helper. So this is still going like mad, so I'm going to just... Well, I'm going to set it right there. Off to the side. So you'll probably see some smoke wafting, but that's just as it burns itself out a bit. I'm just thinking, this is good. Well, actually, I do want that to sit up. So let me just fix something here. Sorry for the... There we go. Okay. So let's just take a look at... We're going to look at Clyde Kerr. Let me just grab that info real quick. Okay. Now he was a Lafayette Parish deputy, and his name was Clyde Kerr III, and he was struggling with the issues going on. Excuse me here as I fix my seating. He was struggling with the issues going on of racism and trying to reconcile all of this as a black man who's also a police officer. You know, he was a father. But anyway, poor Claude, he was struggling with this very much. So apparently he made a number of videos shortly before his death where thank goodness he at least shared that. But I wish that he could have been, gotten some intervention and some help. But I will add links to those videos in the description box, because they are what he describes as what he thinks should be done as a solution. I wouldn't put it up if it was just a salacious, let's gawk at this man's misfortune. I'm not at all about that at all. I care about people. May not be perfect, but I care enough about them that I think that would be in poor taste. And this man, when I saw his picture, his spirit, and I think you'll do the same when I put it in one of the areas here, so that you can see what I mean. So let's just give Clyde a moment and see if he wants to come through using the tarot as a means of creating some message for me to interpret. And the other officer, I don't mean to neglect his name, but I'll be looking to see also. Let's just see what that other officer is. A white fellow. Clyde was African American. Let's see, Capitol Policeman. Sorry about that. I have like a million tabs open because I'm trying to do 2 videos while I'm editing other ones. Okay. So there were 2 officers that ended up taking their lives. And one, as I said, is Clyde, who I'm reaching out to. And I'll also reach out to Jeffrey Smith. He was 35 years old, and he was another officer that ended up, Capitol Policeman, that ended up committing suicide after trying to defend the Capitol building. And his wife, Erin Smith, wants her husband's death to be declared a line of duty death. It most certainly was, and as a result of it. So I will include links to Smith as well, so that you can see, and I will add a picture here also, so that you can see his wife and he, and what do you look like? Such a shame. Okay, so let's go ahead. And I'm going to ask Clyde Kerr the third. I don't have a birthday. I didn't bother to look up anything like that for him. I'm just going to allow him to use the cards and to give the message he wishes to convey. I ask Spirit to help him and for me to convey his message accurately. I ask my spiritual mentors to make sure that I do a good job. So let me just try and dial into him. Clyde Kerr III, what would you like to share? With regard to anything, but in particularly with regard to what happened to you and how you ended up feeling. So, All right, let's see. Well, we have the Emperor. And we have the Two of Wands. Page of Pentacles. Knight of Swords. Ace of Wands. Six of Swords. Lovers. Eight of Swords. Well, to me this speaks most definitely of law, authority, and the presidency, the emperor, leadership, and the Two of Wands. And this is looking at Trump, I feel like, prior to the initiation of Biden. That energy is there with that Two of Wands and that Emperor. You know, you're talking about, so Clyde is wanting to speak about the peaceful, what is supposed to be like the peaceful exchange of office, or, you know, resumption of power for the country. There's a feeling, very much of a feeling heavily of that with those two cards. And then the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, to me, speaks of just this haphazard mob that quickly knee-jerk reacts to this president's bidding. Okay. And I'm getting for, also, I feel like this is Clyde as a father. But I feel like he couldn't shut off his mind here. With that Ace of Wands, I feel like it's something he was having a hard time stopping the trauma of replaying itself. And there is looking at it in this final row as now he's able to see it from a different perspective with the Hanged Man. And unfortunately, since he's taken his life, there was just so much energy there with that Ace of Wands. It feels like it's too much. And it was just in his head. Couldn't escape himself. And get that break where he would be able to see from another perspective. Not that I'm not condoning, you know, or I'm not judging him at all, because this man was in pain. Now, he's looking here also at who invited them to come. Who invited this and drew them in? Of course Trump did, but there were also other people, and I think he knew that they had been set up and he couldn't trust them anymore. And as a black man, I'm getting him thinking with these cards, what am I here for? What am I doing? I think he was very, 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 very confused. And it was causing, I feel like, that Ace of Wands, all these thoughts just surging in his mind. And I think it was just so overwhelming to him that he couldn't find a means or a way to kind of put the brakes on that speed of mind conversation, and it's never ending going on in his head is what it feels like to me. And these are about choices. This is also looking at choices that he made. He looks back at choices he made. And he's questioning them. And what he was teaching having to teach his sons, I think with that Page of Pentacles, there's a feeling of child there. And he just wanted to make things better for them. And other... And I feel like he feels that he participated in a program not a program, but a career that wasn't helping but was hurting his own people, and not enough was being done, and then being there working and being set up when they had the insurrection, I think it just made him upset with himself. I see him looking at himself. Even the cards is the Emperor is a black male. Okay. What's interesting is then I also get the only other king. So I'm wondering if he wasn't a fire sign, or didn't have a heavy fire placement. So I'm getting that he wasn't sure about the choices he had made. A lot of confusion. And it's a pity, because I'm getting, if he could have just gotten that care, just gotten through an initial window of time, things may have been different. He may have made a different choice. Queen of Pentacles. Nurturing. I wonder, I feel like he's back in the presence of a woman, and I'm feeling like it's a motherly figure. Or grandmother. And he's with them, and he's looking back. He is looking back, and he's seeing from a different perspective that the Hangman offers you when you are able to have that time, that quiet, to reflect and look back. And it just doesn't look like he was able to do that in his physical life. It looks like there was noise and carry on. It's weird. When I look in his environment, I'm not feeling like he's able to get that quiet time, that distance, that perspective to rethink. And it's such a shame, his involvement, because I think he should have been, I wish he could have been saved, because I think he would be the type of person of course I wish he would have been saved, but I just see him as being somebody that could have mentored, you know, young people, and continuing to his sons, even if he wasn't a police law, you know, in the enforcement. There's so much that he had yet to give, and it just gets me. But I see from his perspective, he just did not feel like he knew how to free himself to get that perspective. There was just too much up in his, you know, going on very quickly, and I don't feel like the man. I think part of the reason why he was doing the videos and all of that was most certainly to try and process. And you know, he complained that there wasn't a lot of, that there was a stigma attached to trying to get mental health assistance if you're having a tough time. And so he ended up not feeling supported, I think, by the very career he ended up choosing, trying to serve people and to do something positive. And he just saw it wasn't doing that. And I think he felt like he had really misplaced his energy there. I'm just wishing that he could have been able to have that pause there so he could think, well, I'm not just gonna, this isn't just no good now, I end it all. But I see him on the other side. And he is working with other people, other men that have felt similarly, done similarly. And he's still working on himself. Just that nurturing. That's why he's got that nurturing, like grandmother or feminine presence around him. It's this man, after that trauma, just needs gentleness, gentleness, gentleness. And I see that with the Queen of Pentacles. That's why I feel like, is that a grandma? Somebody like that? She looks like she would be really loving. Yeah. And it's about help, that help is needed. And to highlight, I think also the aspect of this is so messed up. He's hoping that people will take to heart what he could give and not judge him, but accept what he could give them before he ended up unfortunately taking his life. And that's what people should focus on, and hopefully are not judging him, because he left us very important things to consider given his career and length of time that he served people, tried to help. He wants to see children, Page of Swords, Page of Cups, be given the kind of counsel and care that they should, because of this clear number that we can see where black men, black people, people of color are disproportionately, picked to bear so much and have not be given as much in light of the same opportunities. Opportunities, yes, they are what you make of them, but what a lot of white people don't realize is how much opportunity they have right from the get-go to begin with, that people of color just don't get the same. And I feel like he really wants, I feel like children to receive the support and the youth to be educated, to be protected and given this assistance, and their cases highlighted. Yeah, for family and for generations, for healing. I believe that there is still a lot of good, that he's going to continue to work clearly on the other side here. I don't, and working to resolve the problem that is faced in this country and around the world, where there is discrimination and ignorance, and the way to resolve it. And I see that some things may come up within concern to him in the future that may not be expected. I believe it will be something like a mentor program, or some kind of a support program for mental health for officers. There could be something like that they end up doing and putting in with regard to, especially Clyde's videos claiming what was needed, and for people that had his career and were involved in that whole field, and as well as a black man. So I believe that these will be honored in the upcoming future. I see like memorial plaque and to him and to the fellow officers that lost their lives as a result. I can see that. But there will be more that happens. I see like a new program, and I think something for children in particularly, and I'm sure for his own children, but I feel like his vision was greater, and it was just too much for him. He was a very sensitive man. And he felt this makes me sad. I think he felt that he let down his community by the choice of his career. I mean, I don't want to put words in someone's mouth, so I'm going to stop there. But all my videos are for entertainment purposes only. They are alleged. But that is what I picked up. And I don't know that I feel now he wishes that he had been able to get through, have that bit of time to get a different perspective than he did, but what happened. He seems to accept that and wants to move forward and make things better in the way that he can. And I see him doing that, and I see that we will see things happening here, going on here in his memory, and for the other also Capitol Police that ended up losing their lives, but also the other fellow that ended up taking his life. Something for them. There will be a change, and I think the mental health, that whole Capitol Police system, I think will probably undergo some considerable changes coming. So there's my reading on Clyde and Kerr the Third, and what I feel like is important for right now. I feel like I can come back because there's going to be more through that. He's a very active spirit, even for somebody that had gone through what he went through. I still see that he transitioned pretty quickly on the other side and is working to help. So that was interesting. Anyway, bless him, bless his family, and bless this nation. May it make the changes so that this never happens again, and that we make the changes necessary to stop this nasty business of killing people based on just let's just learn how to live together and be good to each other. All right. So, if you like this content, please hit that like button, that thumbs up, subscribe, notification. See you in the next video. Thank you. Have a great day.